presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to John in Orlando. Hey, John, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom, good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I want to thank you, first of all, before I ask you about the stock, you and Tim Ward and all the gang at TFNN. I had a really, really good year after the October call you guys made. My 401k is up 72%.
Congratulations, man.
A couple of things I made with Coinbase and other stocks that I made, and I've had a good year.
And we appreciate you growling and prowling with us, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I know I did. It's very relaxing. I had a nice we had birthday dinner yesterday for my girlfriend. Went out to get some Italian food. Very good. If you're in St. Pete, check out Banu. It was delicious. The drinks were fantastic. Got a Lambrusco Spritz. You can't go wrong with that. Taking a look at the SPY right now. Trading off, just moderately off, about 0.25%. Okay, no volume today. We have big earnings this week. You have Ford, you have Palantir. Of course, Hims is up there as well. Man, we're going to be waiting really for what Powell says, okay? And you got these guys, everyone's saying, okay, no, we're going to get some more rate cuts this year. Well, as it stands now, you're taking a look at the 10-year. I mean, hey, we're right back above 4.3% in the yield. We're not really budging here from where we began at the beginning of this year. Man, that's something to think about, right? You're very high really in January, but you take a look from like November, we're hovering right around those levels. You know, I think we're going to get a whole lot of the same thing, right? We need to wait for the data to see if we're actually having a true slowdown in inflation. We have to wait to see if the tariffs, whichever ones stick around, if that contributes to inflation, whether that's going to be once or if it has some kind of weird ripple effect and it continues to see price inflation. Now, what I would say on that front is the Saudis dumping a bunch of oil into the market is obviously going to be very good, or at least for a CPI number. Probably be good for everyone as well. I would like to see that price start getting reflected at the pump there. You're seeing some of the airline companies kind of go up today, right? You had, I think in particular, it was Southwest is having quite a good day on this kind of news of cheaper gasoline. You're at 0.9%. I don't know. I had two friends who were flying this weekend, Southwest, and they said their flights were not very packed whatsoever, right? And there's clearly, a slowdown right now, okay? Can these kind of, they're going to make cheaper tickets, gas is going to be cheaper. Is that going to be enough for them to kind of salvage at least what they're seeing right now? Because it's very weird that two people going different places on airlines, the same airline, don't have packed flights. They could choose wherever they wanted to sit. It's very bizarre, right? So obviously we know there's a slowdown, at least just in spending in this realm. We'll see if the cheaper ticket costs that are afforded by cheaper gas can offset that. It is not necessarily a kind of sector I would want to be in regardless right now. You have some fear of recessionary things going on, and then, as I said, with people telling me that they don't have a lot of people on their flights. Kind of bizarre. Taking a look at the SPY off 0.27%, 565.22. Composite off 0.37%. Okay, trading off 67 points, 17,909. Take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial, trading up 0.07%. That's weird. The Dow Futures up 0.05%. Russell coming off a little bit as well. You're up about 0.33%. Dollar, still 0.27%. Bitcoin coming down, really just taking kind of a digestive thing here. This is an amazing run up for Bitcoin. It seems like it is getting quite a bit of industry attention. Of course, that's fine. I think we have Coinbase earnings coming up somewhat soon as well. So we're going to see how that kind of shakes out. There's a lot of discussion, again, not just from retail and from your crypto bros, but people in traditional. Give me a second. Let me turn off this notification. In kind of traditional finance, saying they're interested in it. I don't know. We've spoken on here a few times of the role that things like stable coins could play in the world economy. I think there is a future for that. I don't think Bitcoin necessarily is that. Now, in theory, you could probably generate a stable coin pegged to Bitcoin, which would be kind of interesting, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of kind of interesting thought going on in serious circles about this kind of stuff here. Take a look at crude, man. You're off 1.96% at $57.14 for the futures. Strongly recommend checking out some of the newsletters we have to offer because we have a few people discussing that. Very much worth it. We'll go over that. Of course, we're going to have Steve Rhodes on here in just a moment. Take a look at the gold contract. We're coming right back up today, trading up 2.82%. Nice bar to the upside after some digestion and movement lower, hitting that 3,200 level. You got silver trading up 1% at 32.58. Copper up 0.65% at $4.70. Take a look what else we got going on. Steel Dynamics off just a tad. Nucor is also off just a tad. Fubo trading up. VIX at 23. Man, the regionals are so well. Tesla, we'll talk some more about that. It's trading off 2.03%. A little bit of a recovery from earlier today. Okay, it is a Monday, so you know what that means. We only got 2 minutes left in this segment, but that's all right because we're going to have him on. Taking a look right now on the newsletters tab is the Mastering Probability newsletter by Steve Rhodes. And we've really enjoyed having Steve Rhodes come on. I think we've been talking about recently that's been very interesting to me is VIX being in contango. Of course, we had an elevated VIX for quite a while, and now we're seeing this kind of move downward, that 23 area right now in the VIX. Steve, how are you doing? Are you with us?
Yeah, I am. Doing great, Jacob. Yourself?
Doing well. Quite a restful weekend, and I'm ready for the week. So how about you?
Good. Glad to hear it. No, nice weekend. Look at you. The weather down here. I've been in Florida for 43 years now.
Yeah.
This was the best winter that South Florida has ever experienced. And what I mean by that is most mornings that we woke up, it was in the maybe upper 60s, lower 70s, never got really much above 82 or so during the day, lack of humidity. Now it has shifted, and we've also had no rain. It's like been a drought in Palm Beach County. And but now the rain has started. We're having some thunderstorms today, a little bit yesterday.
Fantastic.
So I'm hoping summer isn't here just yet. But if it is, it is. And tonight, 8 o'clock, you don't want to miss the Panthers Toronto Maple Leaf.
That's right,
game.
of course.
So I love it. But hey, you were talking about love, or you're talking about Southwest.
That's right.
LUV is a Turkish symbol. I've got it. I posted it up on the screen here. It's feeling a lot of love. It's been up for 8, 9. Today's going to be the 10th consecutive day to the upside. But what it's going to do here, it's going to generate at a TD9 count top today. That says we have a top either today or tomorrow, with the weekly time frame chart being right up at resistance. That's where the sellers are at 30.67. So it's kind of a nice segue into what we're going to talk about during the next segment.
Steve, please stay right there, folks. We'll be right back with Steve Rhodes after the break.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We are joined right now by Steve Rhodes. Steve is the author of the Mastering Probability newsletter. He's also the host of the Trader's Edge on at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on TFNN. Steve, I know we were taking a look at Southwest level a little bit. You're saying you're making a TD9 count. Might suggest we see a short-term topping pattern in the equity. What are we taking a look at now?
Today or tomorrow. So we're going to kind of focus a little bit on the TD9s because they're pretty much everywhere. But,
sure.
You know, as you've mentioned many times, the newsletter Mastering Probability is very thorough. It covers... Yes. It covers so many different instruments. Covers all of the equity futures, all of the major commodity futures, even minor futures, if you will, the soft commodities. You know, wheat, soybeans, coffee, sugar. Yes. And each daily newsletter, daily and the evening, I do an update in the evening, comes with this one table here. And this is a really important table for anybody that is trading either the sectors inside the S&P 500 or the index ETFs, because what it's providing you with, it's providing you with support and resistance. And those for the daily, weekly, and monthly time frame. So what people should do right now is just grab a copy of this page here so that you can understand where support and resistance is at. And support and resistance being profile levels, they say, as well as our oscillator and change line. And down below is really the SPY chart matching what is up above. So if we really start taking a look at the SPY here, what we'll see is today is going to become bar number 9 of a TD9 count, much like in the case of Southwest Airlines or Love. That says that today or tomorrow will complete the pattern. I don't know if price is going to move higher or not. It can move higher out there, and that sets the top. But if we take a look at the daily SPY, you'll see that today's going to become bar number 9. At the same time, the weekly chart is right up at resistance. It's that oscillator and change line. Again, this data is included in that table that I provide to subscribers every day, so they know where support and resistance is at. We need to know where support and resistance is at. Now knowing that the weekly is up against a sell zone on its weekly profile between about 566 and 578, as well as price testing that oscillator and change line and not closing above it, pretty good indication that we're about to experience some type of top. Now, is it a top that's going to last just a couple of days, 1 to 4 days out there? That I don't know, but we are certainly getting the signals from the the SPY that there is a top. Well, if we say, and we don't just pay attention, I just don't pay attention to just the SPY or just the ES Mini. Instead, what do the primary instruments that represent the S&P 500 communicate? When there's synergy, it's really worth paying attention. So for that, I'm using the S&P Cash Index, That'll confirm a TD9 count top today. The ES Mini will confirm a TD9 count top today. We already covered the SPY. And then there's an all-important equal-weighted ETF. What are the equal-weighted ETFs doing? Well, in this case here for the S&P, it's the RSP. And that also is going to go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top. Now, the downside levels here to be watching, so people can take a snapshot of this screen. The downside level, and that says that, now remember, this pattern does not complete till tomorrow. So we could see a rally tomorrow. If we see a rally tomorrow, that doesn't mean that these patterns have been negated. The first downside targets are going to either be profile levels, if we have them, such as we do for the ES Mini and the SPY and the RSP, or the oscillator and change line, which for the S&P cash index, that becomes its price target, which right now is about 54.62-ish out here. So you've got the SPY that's saying we've got a top. Well, we don't want to stop there. What's the Russell telling us? We've got the Russell 2000 cash index, the equity future contract, and the IWM. What we'll see here, and this is the cool thing, is that they complete TD9 count tops today. They are a day ahead of the S&P and the NASDAQ, and they are 2 days ahead of the Dow. So what's cool about this is that we don't know whether these patterns can fail. But the cool thing here is if it's going to fail, if we see a close above the high of the pattern, which at this stage here right now looks like it was Friday's high for any of the Russell 2000 instruments out there, if we get a close above that, let's say tomorrow, it negates these signals and tells us about a strong upward momentum move to the upside, which will probably assist us with regard to the other instruments. What other instruments? Well, here's the NDX 100 charts. And again, here I've got the NQ, so we've got the equity future contract for the daily time frame. We got the NDX cash indice, we've got the QQQ, the ETF, and we have the equal weighted version. All of these have TD9 count tops that are going to form today, complete tomorrow. Downside price targets become profile levels or their oscillator and change line. Let's not stop there. What was really interesting as I worked on this over the weekend and sent out an update yesterday afternoon. And the update yesterday afternoon was expect or anticipate a short-term top, or at least some type of top inside the market. The piece of the puzzle that was missing yesterday, Jacob, was the Dow. And what the Dow needed to do was the Dow needed to trade higher. The Dow needed to at least tick above Friday's high out there in order to generate bar number 8. Well, it successfully did that today. Yeah. And on a TD9 count pattern, the high or low, in this case here, we're talking about tops, needs to be on bars 8, bar 9, or the bar following 9. And 90% of the time that we have a successful bar 8, meaning it's the high of the pattern, we'll go ahead and complete a TD9 count. So now we've really got synergy out here amongst all 4 equity future contracts that really suggest that we should be seeing some type of short-term high or low. The duration, well, that we don't know. We'll come back to the duration in a minute. Every day, every morning, every evening, included in my updated newsletter, includes this chart here. People should grab this as well. This is covering, you see all the instruments that are covered here. You got the top 10 NDX 100 stocks, top 10 Dow stocks. You've got the index ETFs. You've got their support and resistance levels. You also have the automated trading outlook that I have for the daily time frame. For example, the ES Mini is in a consolidating bearish position. The NASDAQ is saying its bear market is over. So it comes with all this information. If we've begun the next leg in a bull market, because then what we should see here is only a 1 to 4 day pullback. And here what I'm taking a look at is the bottom portion of the screen here, Jacob. What it's doing is taking a look at consecutive days higher closes and consecutive lower closes out there. The red digits being consecutive lower closes, the black digits being consecutive moves higher out there. And typically in a bull market, what we will see is we will just see a pullback of 1 to 4 trading sessions. So that's what people should be watching for out there. Right. If we get more than 4 trading sessions consecutively to the downside, that suggests that, maybe that bull market hasn't really begun, the lows that we saw back in April the 7th out there. This is the 97-year post-electional seasonal cycle for the S&P 500. And even this, over 97 years during the post-election period, that red vertical line is where we're at right now. That shows that we should experience a top top within the next couple of days out here. So even the seasonal is lining up with what is it. Now, this suggesting that it's really just a short-term top, that we get a bit of a pullback here, and then really we just kind of slide sideways before we head higher into about the end of July, early part of August timeframe. This is the 97-year seasonal cycle that's not post-election, just each year over 97 years, the so-called sell in May cycle, if you will, yes. Jacob. And even that shows that we should form some type of top by the end of this week, move lower into the end of May, so maybe a 3 to 4 week pullback, and then continue to move higher into the summer.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, there's a lot of, we've been following the volume, at least in the SPY recently, you know, yes. And we've kept pushing higher, but it just seems like it kind of contracts, or at least, you know, it kind of shakes out to not be as bad when you look at it in the past. But even today, you know, you don't have a ton of volume moving up out of these, you know, these near-term lows. But Steve, always fantastic look at this. Do you have any more you want to speak about?
No, the only thing I'll throw out there is the only international daily topping pattern that we've got out there is a Shanghai. So this is telling me that we're not at a major top. That's really the last thing I'd share.
Thank you so much, Steve. Looking forward to see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Great. Thanks, Jacob. Have a great evening.
Take care, Steve. Folks, they're right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We are just joined by Steve Rhodes. Steve, of course, is the author of Mastering Probability Newsletter. As he said, and as I have said in the past, it is an extraordinarily thorough newsletter. So it's definitely worth checking out. You know, one of the things I could say with it as well is that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee on all of our newsletters if you're a first-time subscriber. So you do this essentially risk-free. You know, for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, you just send us an email. We'll go ahead and refund your payment if it's within that 30 days, and you should be good to go. I am betting that it will work out for you because these are some pretty fantastic newsletters, Mastering Probability in particular. Okay, taking a look at, let's see what we got going on. I want to go over what we have earnings-wise. Again, I think, you know, you have a catalyst for kind of, you know, sideways movement right now, whereas everyone's waiting to hear what Powell's going to say. And then, you know, you have catalyst to the upside, which is going to be, you know, today, let's see here. You have Palantir, which is massive. I mean, Palantir has held up extraordinarily well. They signed deals with, where am I at here? I think I gotta go to my big tech. I messed with all of this. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is fantastic. Kind of holding for this equity, you know. We're trading basically up to all-time highs on top of trading, right? They've signed some more deals with NATO. I mean, I really do believe what Palantir is doing is probably going to be like the future suite for the U.S. military. You know, they're trading at like things like 100 times sales. A predominant amount of their revenue last quarter, last report, only 40% of that was from operations. Regardless, you know, there's a great sentiment for this company, and you know they're equipping modern warfare, you know, in a major way. So, additionally, them breaking into, you know, what is now being dubbed as vibe coding for, you know, just kind of standard enterprise, right? And that's what we've been looking at with Palantir's. Can they capitalize, you know, within the domestic sector? And it seems like they've been doing a decent job at that, or at least mobilizing to do so. And then I really believe this whole realm of, quote, vibe coding, again, you're asking large language models like, hey, I need this program developed. It'll develop it for you. So on, you know, I think that's very valuable. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, just very pricey stock. You know, I mean, 655 P is kind of intense, 100 times sales is intense. But if they report well, you know, it's like, hey, we're still chugging along. I mean, this thing could continue just to send, you know. Definitely not a spot where you know, I don't want to be buying at the highs on the day of earnings in a period that is uncertain. But, you know, no doubt they've expanded out with some of the NATO contracts, and I think they have a great suite. So we'll kind of see what happens with Palantir. Of course, very important to kind of follow along with that. Well, so you have Vertex Pharmaceuticals, you have Ares Management already reported, Ford after the bell today. Let's see what else. Tyson should be interesting. On Semiconductor. How do they do? We'll have to take a look at On. It looks like they reported. Okay. They beat their earnings there. That's not so bad. We'll take a look at this. Cautious about automotive exposure to tariffs. Okay. Maybe there might be a little buying opportunity here if it's oversold for no good reason. Of course, you know, we would have to sit there and take a closer look. Let's see what else. On Tuesday, you have AMD tomorrow morning. They have Duke Energy, which I believe is increasing their dividend. Yeah, man, this stock has done super well. Since we were looking at it, that's amazing. CEO there announces key leadership appointments. Okay, they're keeping. I see. So they're keeping the dividend the same. It's still a decent dividend there. That'll have earnings. Anything else interesting? Of course, we got Wednesday, Novo Nordisk, Uber, Disney, ARM, Mercado Libre, AppLovin, Dash, Fortinet. Man, this is a huge week for earnings. It was last week. Carvana. Vistra. Man, we're going to get a lot of insight into how these major sectors, think they're going to hold up with all the kind of uncertainty. Then, of course, Shopify on Thursday, Coinbase on Thursday. I'll be following that for sure. Euro Pacific Partners. And then Nebius, supposedly. We'll see about that. Talking with Nebius, they are off today. And this might be a time that we now start looking like, okay, could we add to this, right? As we've been going over, they've been burning capital, right? So they've been able to float themselves because they have just so much cash. They have just no debt at all. But now one of the things we've been saying, it's like they're burning capital so quickly and they're in this expansion phase that at some point they're gonna have to do something, whether that's dilution, whether that's debt, whatever it might be. Looks like they might be doing both. We have a mixed shelf offering coming out. The amount is undisclosed. But if we can get more shakeout in this equity, and of course we should probably know as well what the actual offering is, it might present an interesting, entry. Now, we have a pretty strong floor with the equity around $20. Okay, so if we get a traversal back down below that, I would say for me, and again, this is, of course, depending on what that offering is going to be, but, if we break a little bit lower than 20, I'll probably add on it. They seem relatively competitive. We went over the pricing, compared to CoreWeave and compared to some of the other, compute renters. Again, dominant in Europe. Nobody else is really sending it out there like that. And they're building in the US, right? They do have access as well to Blackwell, which is NVIDIA's new chip that they're going to have coming out. And they're going to be able to implement that pretty quickly. So, we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to following along with NVIDIA. But this is kind of what we're waiting for, right? I might have even said it on Wednesday. If they do something to dilute or get on leverage, we'll be looking to see how this equity pulls back and if it creates something good. I would say for myself, kind of looking at the numbers when where it's trading at now, around 20, a little bit below 20, like if you can get back down to like an $18.50 or $19, would be an interesting spot to kind of grab Nebius. Again, I really like I like their management. They seem relatively competent. Of course, this was Yandex prior, which was a wildly successful business. There's been a lot of discussion over, well, we need all this kind of compute. And that is still something I think that's important to kind of, pay attention to. But when you're looking at just exposure in Europe, I think that's extremely attractive. Of course, they have AV Ride, which is expanding out a little bit more. I believe they're working with Hyundai to try to get some more autonomous driving capabilities. That is through AV Ride. And then, building into the US, if they can offer those competitive compute prices, like the H200 rent prices, you have a dog right then, right? So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that shakes out. But we're going to be waiting to see what the numbers on that mixed shelf offering are. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Brian Show, this is our last full segment. Taking a look, well, at LifeMD right now. I was looking more at this company over the weekend, and I like it. I like the growth. They just started being able to take Medicare, okay, for their virtual meetings. That's on April 1st. A lot of their costs in the pharmaceutical startups have come and gone. I mean, you're looking at last year, the improvement of operating cash flow been 99%. Your subscribers growing 27% for the telehealth service. That's going to, obviously, there's going to be a massive add on that with the acceptance of Medicare, right? They're going to be able to start selling Novo Nordisk's GLP-1. They have guidance of 265 to 275 million in revenue and 30 to 32 million in consolidated adjusted EBITDA. You're up 4% right now. Not horrible at all. And they've continued just to crush it on the past few earnings here. It seems like there's a really good road ahead for them. Of course, you have a lot of. This is one I think I'm probably going to add, because everything they said they were going to do is moving swimmingly. Yeah. So LifeMD. This is on April 17th. Announced expanded acceptance of insurance to Medicare beneficiaries for qualifying care. Available to more than 21 million Medicare Part B beneficiaries in 26 states. It expects to expand access to medically necessary services for more than 60 million beneficiaries across 49 states. Fee-for-service, qualifying virtual primary care, weight management program. I mean, come on, right? They're going to put older people on this thing. Yeah. A significant portion of the Medicare population lacks convenient access to primary care providers, especially in rural underserved areas. Okay, sure. Point being, they're gonna get this stuff to older folks, right? And hey, like, they will use it. Look at this, up 4.21% right now. Okay, and you're taking a look at HIMSS as well, and you just take a look. HIMSS is fine, good company. A lot of maybe. I would say kind of hard to see what's going to happen, right? They're not able to sell the compounded semaglutide any longer. Okay, this is moving up in a major way, up 3.06%. They have a new COO guy from Amazon. Okay, they've been posting pictures of getting Wegovy. This is some big this is some big stuff for them to be able to actually sell these drugs non-compounded this way, right? And they get good access. There's no, sketchiness. Are they going to get shut down? What happens? Is there legal issues? So on and so forth. This will be very cool. Now, okay. Again, the thing with some of these kind of GLP-1s, I believe the new one is retatrutide. That is Eli Lilly. That one, I think, will beat out semaglutide and tirzepatide. It doesn't waste you the same way as these other GLP-1s do, but that's fine. In the meantime, these things work, and people will want access to these cheaper kind of options. Huge gap up on big volume about 4 trading sessions ago. They're going to report people are very excited for this one. Again, we went over the numbers, that's fine, but we're going over the numbers relative to LifeMD. Now, it's a little bit weird because Life is still a little bit pre-earnings for sure. They're improving in a major way. They had a lot of CapEx, getting some stuff off the ground. But the telehealth industry, man, is straightforward and easy. I use telehealth when I need to do something like that. If I don't have to go to the doctor's office, which sometimes that's inevitable, of course. But man, if I can, why not? It's so much better. So LifeMD is really what I'm going to follow. I'm a little upset I'm not even in this right now. Definitely it is getting some kind of sympathy play. Okay, you're up 3.79%, so you get a little bit of volatility. But this is a cool one, right? It seems to be priced, just ratio-wise, right? If you like HIM's price, well then you'd love LifeMD's price. So we'll keep following these guys, see what HIM's posts. Yeah, there's the discussion as well on pharmaceuticals and how the tariffs affect that. I think we get kind of insight on that from HIM's, right? So if that ends up being a big problem, that should definitely inform us about what to do with LifeMD as well, because they would be, hit for that as well. So anyways, kind of interesting stuff. Let's talk about an equity that is bizarre. Look at this thing, up 513%. This isn't reverse split or anything like, geez. So, reverse split. Yeah, it's not a reverse split. This thing is actually moving up 510% today. What is this company? This is a great question. Hyperscale Data Incorporated. This is so weird. So why are they moving up today? Well, they said they're going to report first quarter incomes. I think of about 115. Okay, so that's full year guidance was for revenues 115 million. They're doing 25 million in the first quarter revenue. I noted that it reported a significant one-time gain of approximately 9.7 million in the first quarter. Yeah, well, this number is a lot better than I think what they're usually doing. Absolutely, because if you look at last year in 2024, you have your total revenue of 106 million. Okay, and you're looking at quarterly revenue. Of course, you can just divide that out. But it's so weird. They had. So what this company does is multiple things, okay? One, they just have some random revenue stream that they're not really explaining what that is, but that's a small portion. They do crypto mining, which I don't necessarily like that, but their ideas they're running to rent out compute. Hotel in real estate operations. Their big thing is renting out cranes for data center build out. They're just saying data center. I'm sure it's whoever wants to get, the crane. But they're saying here 2025 is off to a strong start with growth across several of our core businesses. Our transition to the Michigan facility to AI data center and partial divestment of non-core assets are key milestones. It's just a weird stock. They spend a ton of money. And I'm looking at their I'm looking at their 10K right now. And they spend a ton of money on, their total revenue was 106 million and their gross profit was 24 million. So that's nice. Okay. But they spend a ton of money on general and administrative, a huge amount. And they did that in the years prior. Look how freaky this balance sheet is. Excuse me. The, statement of operations is. Oops. Oh, that's cool. So this is cash flow. Look at this income statement. It's just They're obviously doing a lot of stuff the year prior. I mean, look at the general administrative. It's just like they spend so much money on it. And I'm not sure why. This was just brought to my attention right before the show, so I was like just running through Edgar on the break. But man, we should take a closer look at it. That's such a nuts move. Listen, and they're cash positive, right? Gross profit isn't horrendous number-wise, especially, considering what their market cap is. Folks, they'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We got a short segment here. So looking at Hyperscale Data Incorporated. Yeah, it's just like a weird company. There's like something going on here that I'm not. Go back to their income statement. I mean, okay. You had total revenue of 106 million. Your loss from operations was, okay, so yeah, you had revenues 106, you had gross profit of 24 million, loss from operations at 57 million. Like their total operating expenses are huge, and it's just because of general and administrative. Like you're looking at numbers like 11 million for research and development, selling and marketing 14 million. Okay, you're like basically negative right there, right? impairment of goodwill, impairment of property and equipment's big, and then but this is the same thing, right? Like that's 19 million for the property and 1.5 million for the goodwill, and then you're looking at general administrative of $35 million, and that has always been heavily weighted. Like looking at their past reports, so I don't know, freaky thing. This was trading at 2 million market cap before all of this, right? And it's not like these numbers are new, so hey. That's not bad, right? This is 25 million, if true, but we'll have to see, how they shake out. It's just so bizarre. If they could lower the general administrative, which it seems like they have, it's almost like they halved it year over year, but it's still insane. Like it's still really, really big. So we'll see what happens with that, but they have some freaky stuff going on. They have restricted cash, that has to do with some kind of meeting an obligation on some notes. There's a lot to break into with this company. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow morning with Tommy O'Brien for the morning market kickoff. Take care.